Hey everyone, Siri here, and welcome back to another week of Aether Raid's offense matches. I started the week with Ashnard, who, as usual, is an extremely solid AR tank. Yet the layers of combat penalties from Gargarant, Pegasus Flight, and his Rain cripple his opponents, and supporting him with Anoka complements that tanking style perfectly. I've been very fond of Quick Riposte for his seal, but this week I switched him back to a flat speed res seal instead. You might have also noticed that Peony is using a pair of tactics that don't do anything for a mostly flyer squad, and that Mill is using chill res instead of chill defense. It doesn't hurt Ashnard's effectiveness much, but why would I mess with the team at all? Well, let's start with an introduction.
Will you draw your blade?
I trust you know who you face, Zelgius, commander of this army. If you're not worthy of fighting me, then you are only wasting my time.
Zelgius has been one of my favorite characters in the series for a long time, and I managed to get him fully merged all the way back in Book 2. Sadly, he hasn't really been a good fit for Aether Raids before now, and I was actually planning to wait until Alondite got a refine before investing any more important skills into him. But that Black Knight from my defenses a couple of weeks ago got me inspired, and I do love building my favorites. This build turns Zelgius into a close save bodyguard. While it hurts to replace Alondite, distant counter isn't worth using if he's only fighting in melee, and Slaying Edge drops Black Luna to a 2-charge cooldown. Combined with Special Fighter, it lets Zelgius reply to any attack with an immediate Black Luna, and that special still hits really hard even through damage reduction effects. The Unity and Save skill complement each other really well, just by matching each other's positioning requirements. And the penalty reverse is a great way to make sure his most important stats stay safe. Quick Riposte is mostly targeted at opponents like Eliwood, who can both deny a natural follow-up and prevent him from retaliating immediately with Black Luna. Of course, a close save bodyguard needs someone to protect, and I settled on Guinivere for his partner. While my Guinivere isn't exactly highly merged, and doesn't even have a single dragonflower to her name, her weapon makes her a perfect fit for Zelgius. Effective damage against mages is an extremely powerful effect, especially since most of the major ranged threats in Aether Raids are mages, and having a post-combat heal that affects both herself and Zelgius is a fantastic bonus. While Guinivere is pretty physically frail, an attack defense solo seal is all she really needs to be able to take a hit or two from ranged physical attackers, and it's not like she has to worry about melee thanks to Zelgius. Unity's a great fit for her since it matches her weapon's positioning requirements and keeps her attack and res stats safe. I replaced her native Lull with a null follow-up as well. While it lowers her bulk a little bit, most of the really dangerous threats she faces are only a problem because of guaranteed follow-ups. With those out of the equation, she's in a much safer spot overall, and Pulse Smoke even lets her dismantle any infantry pulse chains. A lot of the team's mobility ends up coming from Peony, whose order distance really helps Zelgius move around the map. They've also got access to a full set of buffs thanks to the tactics and Milla's Link, and Milla's Isolation is always good to have. Here's Tamari's support really helps tip fights in my favor, and Disarm Trap is an incredibly useful utility skill. So with the introductions out of the way, let's get to the first match. So, this isn't really how I wanted to start the week off, but
Good morning.
sadly, Cavlines require a blunt approach. This Lyn in particular is the reason I'm not using the team I was hoping to start with. The Lull speed defenses and the Brave Bow on top turns her into a pretty significant threat, and overall it's a pretty decently structured Cavline. It's got a Restore Trap, the bonus week Triandra. Triandra's not the bonus week unit this week, it's Yune. And the Claude. There's a lot of lulls on this team. And a lot of hidden debuffs between Triandra and Veronica that stack in on top of that. So With all of that said, I'm not expecting Ashnard to have any problems with this.
It will be done.
How wonderful.
Ready.
Even though he's not going to get a full set of buffs, it really doesn't do too much for him because of the lulls. And by isolating Triandra, we guarantee that he's not going to get hit by Veronica's attack, so he doesn't end up having to worry about any debuffs. It's an impressive 0 times 4 though. Yep. And if we're lucky, we're actually going to get to snipe Triandra here too. I think Yune's going to break that block. Yep. Excellent. Which makes this very simple to clean up because, well, we can just trap Yune in place.
I leave it to you.
Okay, this Veronica actually ended up causing a bit of trouble for me to figure out, and unfortunately, I don't think there's a way for me to knock her out and trap Yune at the same time, so we're just going to have to leave her alive for a turn.
I leave it to you.
And the bright side of this is that because Ashnard knocks her down to 4 hit points, her push skill stops being active, which means she's a lot less threatening, and also means that Peony and Noka won't be in any danger at all.
I bestow my blessing.
Yes.
Oh, well, I guess Noka gets a knockout. I forgot about Wings of Mercy somehow. Well, that makes things a little more interesting. That's not too bad, though.
I leave it to you.
Maybe this way.
How wonderful.
I
Okay.
got this. Death's caress.
It will be done.
Got him in my sights. The glimmer of life.
Like this.
Cleaning up the pots is just going to take a
bestow
bit
my
longer than I would
blessings.
have liked.
Yes. Ready. Death's caress.
Oh no. Okay, it's fine. Sure.
Yes.
Can't believe I forgot about that Wings of Mercy.
I leave it to you.
Guess I'm just more annoyed than I thought about not getting to use the other team this round. But there's an annoying cav line. Hopefully we get a different kind of match tomorrow. Well, this is a different match. Sadly, it's not going to show off all of what this team is capable of, but it should show off just how ridiculous Guinevere can be if you run into a mage team. This one is a restore trap, or not restore, return trap with Sarah and Bernadetta. They've got Triandra, Selena with 63 visible speed, and the bonus weak Yune. Part of what makes this a pretty well set up team is that almost the entire team gets hit with this Kia staff, so you can't actually debuff them and they all get +6 attack and speed at the start of their turn. I honestly wish that this Selena was actually getting hit by the Kia staff. It would have made this a little easier to bait properly, but as is, the problem with this is that the entire thing hinges on Sarah being able to use her heal. So if you isolate her, she can't actually do much at all. And of course, if you have a Guinevere, something like this falls apart very quickly.
Your orders.
Are you certain? Ready.
I'm being very careful with the buffs here. And actually, I might have just messed it up.
It will be done.
We must end
Yeah,
this.
oh well, we're not going to tank the chill res. We should still be okay.
Very
Might take a
well.
little bit more damage, but
Death's caress.
I bestow my blessing.
part of this was making sure that we actually get Guinevere debuffed by the Bright Shrine. Unite as a chunk. And so does Bernadetta. But neither of them do quite enough. I really like Guinevere's post-combat heal. For a lot of the same reasons as Oliver's. It really helps add up over time. Goodbye, Selena. So, I think the best way to work it from here is just to continue tanking from here with
We must
Guinevere
end this.
and isolate these two dancers until they eventually move in and get themselves knocked out.
Yes. Good morning. The glimmer of life.
Like this.
It's not like Zara can ever damage Guinevere, so I'm not worried about her. Okay. So now Triandra will dance Sarah, and it's
Are you
okay
certain?
because we don't really care about the card effect now that Miracle's charged.
I'll keep you alive.
Maybe this way. Very well. Good morning. Are you certain?
It will be done.
Death's caress.
And thanks to Sigurd's cavalry movement, he'll get himself knocked out. Oh, wait, no, we didn't isolate him. Huh. Odd. Oh, that's right, because of Sarah's staff. Oops. I'm not thinking. Oh, Triandra could do damage. That works.
Yes. We must end this. Ready. Are you certain?
I bestow my blessing.
What's your plan?
And we go through one more round of this before Guinevere gets her knockouts. Oh wow, Sarah actually got to do some damage. It's impressive, especially since she's... I don't think she's quite out of range of her push yet.
Very well.
But, you know, Guinevere actually gets to attack back.
Maybe this way.
Are you certain? It will be done.
I'll keep you alive.
The glimmer of life.
And so we say goodbye to Sigurd. That 50% damage reduction is not saving you here. Alright, that was fun. Hopefully next match we actually get to let Zelgius do some fighting. Well, you know what they say, be careful what you wish for.
I have steeled my heart.
This could have been worse, if Petrine was a little more invested, but Petrine herself, just because of the Flame Lance, is actually a really good answer to this Zelgius build, because she targets his res and actually lowers it even further. So she's pretty spooky. There's a Hel, Eldigan. The flyer guidance is interesting for him. It really helps Byleth move around the map. We've got a Harsh Command Yune with Phantom Res to try and make sure she can debuff people. And a Kempf. Kempf is another one of those that I don't necessarily want Zelgius to tank because it exposes him to a lot of nonsense afterwards. So, this isn't actually too terrible, I think, because I can set up for it thanks to Disarm Trap. And assuming I did my math
Like
properly,
this.
it'll be very interesting to see Zelgius handle this.
Very well.
That's the real one.
Yes. Good morning.
That one is not.
Death's caress.
Your orders.
Okay,
Yes.
can pick up the second pot.
Maybe this way. The glimmer of life.
Are you certain? It will be done.
And even though Mill is not going to actually isolate Eldigan here, she will isolate Yune, and getting rid of this Harsh Command is actually pretty important.
I bestow my blessing.
Give Guinevere her set of buffs.
Ready.
Give Zelgius his
It
set
will
of
be
buffs.
Death's caress.
Pull Milla forward so that
I'll
we
keep
can
you
get
alive.
everyone into that
We
aura,
must end this.
and pick off Kempf to start the fight. And I am deliberately getting Zelgius hit by Yune's debuff here, because it hits his defense, and that actually improves his defense thanks to Unity. I wonder if Eldigan's actually going to survive.
Say your prayers.
Well, he might, because we're not actually hitting him hard with Black Luna. Oh well. Without a dancer, it's not like they can really navigate around the map anyway. And well, Guinevere does not have a lot of problems dismantling mages.
Like this.
Let's see.
What's your plan?
Are you certain?
Ready. Yes.
This is fine. Even if Hel attacks Zelgius directly, it's not going to really make a difference.
Say your prayers. Say your prayers.
And, well, he's just got enough health to not really need to worry about that.
Say your prayers.
Alright, we've had enough fun, Eldigan.
Very well.
No more healing tower nonsense for you.
Say your prayers.
Alright, that went pretty well. On to the next one. It's a little odd to see a peony show up on that defense team lead, but
I have steeled my heart.
she is a bonus unit for the week, although she doesn't really contribute much to the defense other than her own dancing stuff. They are also using a +6 Eliwood. Lull's speed defense is a little annoying. It does mean that we can't actually quick riposte him with Zelgius. We're not quite fast enough for that. At least not with the current setup. They've got a restore trap with Camilla, a Sothis, who is also cheating by hitting Zelgius's res. Very inconsiderate. And the bonus weak unit. So because we're not actually able to quick riposte this Eliwood, I'm going to avoid any potential nonsense, and we're just going to have Guinivere pick him off immediately. Now, the fun part about that is it means that we're going to use Guinivere to test this trap, because I can't actually get air to test it safely and then extract properly. So we could take quite a chunk of damage before we even start the fight.
I bestow my blessing.
Good morning.
I'm also isolating Camilla in this first
Like
turn
this.
just to disable the restore trap, and then moving Camilla here to disable Azura for the next turn.
Are you certain?
What's your plan?
Death's caress.
And both of these are important. While I don't want this to activate immediately, I want to make sure that we're knocking Azura out on the turn that we start the fight.
Yes. Ready. The glimmer of life.
It will be done.
Oh boy. 50 damage.
Your orders.
Oh, very scary.
We must end this.
Fortunately, none of the mages on their team can actually threaten Guinevere. So even though she's at a very low level of health right now, she should survive the turn very easily. And thanks to the orders of... Oh, we didn't actually knock Yune out. That defense tile does a lot of work. That's okay. It does mean we don't get to knock Azura out here. But, we'll live.
One will live, one will die.
Especially if she just jumps forward like that. It makes it very easy to deal with her. Okay, so I had to think about this just a little bit, because I do want to make sure that we keep Camilla alive until we pick these ether pots up. And I also need to make sure that we're not
We must end
having
this.
anybody make their way into our backline. Thankfully, since we found the correct bolt trap already,
Very well.
all we have to do is pick off Peony. And even though Guinevere is not going to get most of her skills active here, at this point she has enough health to survive another hit from Yune. And none of the others should actually do enough damage to matter.
Like this.
Ready.
So all we have to do is
keep
pull
you
Zelgius back out of range
I bestow my blessing.
Yes.
and start working on these structures. Mila goes first, which is fine. Yune should go next. And then Azur is isolated, so she has no choice but to attack. And this means that we should actually be able to kind of work Camilla towards this corner again, and then end up blocking her in place.
We must end this. Death's caress. Good morning. Yes.
It will be done.
What's your plan?
She's doing quite a chunk, but between Miracle and the post-combat heal, that is actually active even if she's not
Are you
initiating or near an ally.
We must end this.
She'll be able to survive long enough.
Like this.
Just pick these pots up and move along.
The glimmer of life. Maybe this way. Death's caress.
Your orders.
Victor's really good at tanking up magic damage.
Yes. Very well.
Alright. Another one down. On to the next one. Alright, let's start this one up.
Nap time.
This is actually an interesting layout for the defense, mostly for the way they put their structures out than for the actual team composition. This forest and fortress actually make it really tricky to approach this end tank properly. At least for the first few turns, and of course if you have a disarm trap it makes it much easier. But it's interesting to see this. They've got a Sothis, who's sort of helping to screen the left side. They've got Henriette, and Ike as their other frontliner, Yune, Windsweep Byleth, and this +10 Eldigan. I would really like to max mine out, because he's probably going to be a permanent part of my dark defense. But I just... Grails can be a little scarce.
What's your plan?
Maybe this way.
So if this
Are
is
you
a
certain?
real trap... Okay. I'm probably going to need to wait a turn, just to clear this this
I
gravity
bestow my
debuff.
blessing.
The glimmer of life.
But that's okay.
Good morning. Yes. Death's caress.
Partly because it just makes it a little bit easier for her to pick up all of these pots without assistance. One of the fun things about Zelgius tanking Bright Shrines is that this unity is actually giving him so much extra attack because of it.
Like this.
Ready.
It will be done.
Alright,
We
we'll
must
pick
end
this
this.
off. There's Zelgius in to guard her,
The glimmer of life.
and say go. Yeah. It's... You know, I never really had thought about it before, but there are a lot of mages on defense teams, and when Guinevere doesn't have to worry about the melee half of the fight, she becomes incredibly strong. And, you know, if there are 2 red mages on the defense team, that gets a little bit ridiculous.
Let's see how you handle this.
Not very well.
No draw, no escape.
Nope. And from here, it's actually going to be very simple to deal with this.
Like this.
Good morning.
I bestow my blessing.
Very well.
Oh, well. Sorry, Zelgius. Maybe next time. Alright, that wasn't so bad. So this one's going to be a little more interesting for Zelgius.
Good morning.
Partly because this one has a maxed out Eliwood with Gale Force and Lunge. The Lunge doesn't do much, but I'm glad to see this one because this is the sort of Eliwood that I'm trying to make sure Zelgius can deal with, because I think it's, at least for now, the most common type. He's also going to get to deal with the legendary Dimitri, who is in season this week. Not using Atrocity is a little questionable, I think, but I don't know. I feel like having Lunge on Eliwood is probably enough, and Dimitri would just want Atrocity to hit harder. And they've also got a Leaf, Hardy Bearing, and all that good stuff. Sura, who's also in season, Yune in her bonus week, and Triandra. There's a lot of Wings of Mercy here too, so if Eliwood survives, and with Fury gets into Wings of Mercy range, there's a lot that can follow through. Same with Dimitri, and Dimitri has damage reduction attached to his weapon, which helps a lot for just surviving that first combat. Of course, he has to outspeed his target in order to get that, so he might have problems if he can't do that.
Your orders.
I'm going to take
Are
the
you
first
certain?
turn just to make sure we pick up one of the pots and set
We
up.
must end this.
It will be done.
Yes.
And I'm kind of glad that these pots are accessible, because this is a team that could be tricky to get to a pot if it was, say, up here with the Duo's Hindrance.
The glimmer of life.
I bestow my blessing.
Maybe this way.
We get to use some fun
Very
little
well.
puny jump shenanigans. I could knock Azur out here, but I don't think we need to.
Like this.
I'll keep you alive.
And Zelgius swaps with Milla, and here we go. I mean, all that Azur is giving is 2 drive attacks, right? What could go wrong? On the other hand, Triandra is the only mage on this team that can really threaten Guinevere, so there's that. And Dimitri, well,
See how you handle this.
yeah. and this is going to be a fun point where we actually get to see why I really like Guinevere as the frontliner for Zelgius. Because she can actually heal him with her post-combat heal. Yeah, Zera's not getting much done. Neither is Leaf. This will be interesting. I wonder if it'll stop her from healing Zelgius with Fate Smoke. Oh no, it does heal Zelgius. That's awesome.
No draw, no escape.
Well, that was a nice clean sweep. This match probably isn't just going to be a clean sweep the way the last one was. But that's not going to stop it from being interesting, I think. This one has a +10 Eldigan, who is really, really impressively invested. I actually love this sudden panic and dual flying skill. And Sothis covers him with chill defense, so he's still getting that advantage against Millis. We've also got an Alphonse, and their bonus weak Yune. And Idunn. Zelgius is going to tank this Idunn. And Luis, who is also +10, fully maxed. Really impressive. It's interesting to see these form skills, actually. I haven't seen them much, but they're honestly pretty good at just helping you lock down your starting position. Alright. So I do need to be a little bit careful about Luis's threat range.
Are you certain?
And it actually made it really tricky to plan this opener out, just because, well, it doesn't give us a whole lot of room to get close and set up.
Death's caress.
Alright.
We must end this.
Maybe this way.
And Peony's warp effect is
bestow my
actually
blessing.
extremely valuable here.
Your orders.
Very well.
And down goes Luis. Honestly, that Guinevere could just punch through her that easily at +2 really impressed me. And now we get to watch Zelgius tanking things he has no business tanking.
Let's see how you handle this.
Well, and this part is actually going to be great because Guinevere is going to heal him back into special fighter range. So if Sothis actually gets to him this turn, she just gets smacked down with a Black Luna too. She might chase air instead though, we'll see. Oh, Eldigan moved first. Oh, unfortunate. Alright, I'm going to have
Very well.
Guinevere handle this Sothis, just to make sure that we can pick this pot up easily.
Like this.
And the courtly candle should keep Eldigan from just getting deleted by Zelgius. So,
What's your plan? Your orders.
Are you certain?
this.
And then we can pick this pot up.
Ready.
Actually, there's no reason to
I'll
keep
keep you
Zelgius
alive.
back here. I'll just break this pot and let Eldigan attack directly. Oh no, we got panicked. It would be a shame if we
Let's
had
see
a
how you
unity
handle
skill.
this. Your orders. No draw, no escape. One will live, one will die.
Alright. Hopefully the next one will be the last match of the week. So, assuming I've figured this out properly, this last match of the week is a rematch that I've had my eye on for a little while,
May
since
the land be bountiful.
the hit on my defense happened pretty early in the week. And a lot of it comes down to this absolutely maxed out Summer Mia. She's honestly really, really strong, and the combination of the guard skill with these attack defense skills make her really, really bulky against the units that you would usually try to use to counter her, which would be physical units that can quick riposte her. They've also got a +10 Kempf, who's also using guard, although they cheaped out and only gave him guard 2. Between that, deflect melee, and escutcheon, he's actually really, really hard to kill in melee. They've also got Ike as their other frontliner. I do like this quickened pulse gale force combo for him. I think it, unless he runs into a special fighter or guard effect, he's going to activate that gale force a lot, and with lunge he can do quite a lot of work. The lunge Hel is also really interesting. I've been thinking about using it on her myself, just as a backup lunge, in case Eliwood can't handle the front line. They've also got a maxed out Eldigan. I've seen a couple of these this week, and I really would like to build them myself at some point. And their bonus week Une. So this is a pretty intimidating setup, but since Mia isn't using a Lull, it actually means that Guinevere can handle her. Which sounds a little ridiculous, but it'll be fun to see. I guess Guinevere saw the last match and was like, hey,
It will
I
be
want to
done.
get some fun stuff too.
Maybe this way. Death's caress.
What's your plan?
I bestow my blessing.
This warp effect from Peony has probably been one of the MVPs of the week. Alright, let's see if I did my math correctly. She gets a lot of damage reduction, but it's only for the first hit. And debuffing Zelgius' defense is,
No draw, no escape.
not going to make things good for Ike. Oh good. And now he gets to take out Hel. It does mean that Hel does a little bit more damage, but it's not enough to
One will
really
live, one will die.
threaten Zelgius. Alright, and from here things are pretty easy. Okay, I did need to think about positioning here just a little bit, but I think I figured out how to make this work well.
Very well. Good morning. Are you certain?
Yep. I guess I could have gotten Zelgius a bit of healing, but he really shouldn't need it.
I'll keep you alive.
Like this.
So what should happen here is that Kempf should attack first. Oh, or if not, Zelgius. Oh, that's right, because Eldigan will survive this, which is why I was
No
doing it.
draw, no escape.
But even though Kempf has a guard effect, it's not going to stop Zelgius from charging
No
Black
draw,
Luna,
no escape.
thanks to Special Fighter. Alright, I did have to do a little bit more math, but I'm pretty sure that Eldigan is safe from Zelgius for one more turn. Just because of this healing tower, I think he should survive with about 2 hit points left, if I did my math
I
right.
bestow my blessing.
Yes.
I'll keep you alive. Your orders.
Maybe this way.
And again, it's not like we need these pods. I would like to pick them up, just for completion's sake.
One will live, one will die.
Oh no, it did knock him out. Shucks. Zelgius, you were doing too much damage. Oh well, it's fine. Well, outside of a little blip at the end, and again, it's not like I needed those pods, but I like getting them anyway. But outside of that, the week went really well. I'm honestly really happy with how this Zelgius and Guinivere team has done. It's not something that I think I'll be able to use every week, just because using them together means that I need one of the 3 mythics to be a bonus unit. So, it'll be a seasonal thing, but they're a lot of fun to use, and Guinevere did a lot better than I expected her to. Especially since she's got only 2 merges right now and no Dragonflowers at all. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And we didn't quite make rank 1 this week, because someone took a victory even though they lost a unit, but yeah, we still got a golden share. So, I hope you've enjoyed the videos, good luck with your own matches, and I'll see you next time.